Before we get to the movie, I have a viewer question.
Lay it on me.
Hunter Lee Peterson. After nearly 200 episodes, how do you find movies for the show that you haven't seen? Sure, there's plenty of movies out there, but I'm just curious how you make your selections. Hunter, it's not a problem at all. In the middle of season 1, I compiled a master list of movies that I have not seen and I thought would be good for the show, and it was about 250. And in the 9 years since then, that list hasn't really gone down much because every new season, at least half of the movies are ones that just occur to me. Oh, I never thought to watch Bloggity Blog on the show. That would be a perfect movie. Also, I get on these kicks of wanting to watch a movie from every year. Last year, in the middle of the year, I started wanting to get big stars on the show, like Humphrey Bogart and things like that. So I look for movies that have a cluster of stars, like Suddenly Last Summer.
Bad Day at Black Rock and Suddenly Last Summer. Perfect star clusters.
Jack Horkheimer would be proud.
Horkheimer. If I could have that much excitement about anything in my life as he had about stars.
Yeah, so the decision-making process really is not a process at all. It's just kind of like plucking apples off of the tree. Or watching the apple. Ugh. I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Let's look back on some of the movies we've watched this year. Disco Godfather, The Defiant Ones, Modesty Blaze. What do these all have in common? They're all humans. I'm getting a little tired of it. I want to watch a movie that's about animals. In this case, the noble dolphin. You might even call today the Day of the Dolphin.
This is a title I know, and I think I know the plot of the movie, but I don't believe that could actually be a movie, how it is in my head.
Released in 1973, TDOTD was directed by Basement alum Mike Nichols, written by Basement alum Buck Henry, starring Basement alum George C. Scott, as well as Trish Van Devere and Paul Sorvino. The film was based on the French novel Un animal de raison by Robert Merrill. I know. You don't have to tell me. I know.
It was perfect, man. Perfect French.
The film was not a success despite its 2 Oscar nominations for Best Score and Best Sound. Producer Joseph E. Levine said, "I really think Mike Nichols was the wrong guy to direct. And George C. Scott. He got paid $750,000 for that movie and ran us over schedule. The first 3 days of shooting, he reported in with a virus."
Oh, we have patient zero!
In 2019, comedian Tracy Morgan told Conan O'Brien that this was his favorite movie.
Oh, the mind of Tracy Morgan. What goes on there? I did not know Mike Nichols directed this.
Yeah, me neither.
So that makes me very excited. And also Buck Henry. So I'm finding it hard to believe that this is going to be a bad movie, except that I think it's going to be a bad movie.
Your gift today is not dolphin themed, but it does feature another of the dolphin's underwater pals. The octopus.
That's also in French.
Jeu de raquette. Look, Craig. All day fun.
I need that these days.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'm notoriously clumsy.
Damn thing must be warped.
I got no room. I'm gonna knock over equipment if I try and do this right. So jump in the water and swim. Swim with all your might over to the old leather couch, where we're going to celebrate the Day of the Dolphin.
The C stands for Cousteau.
The Day of the Dolphin begins with Dr. Jake Terrell talking to us.
Imagine that your life is spent in an environment of total physical sensation. That every one of your senses has been
So erotic.
He's giving a lecture about dolphins.
Every inch of your surface, your skin, is a receptor.
In another part of the ocean, that dolphin looks like it has so many sensual receptors.
Dolphins are doing experiments. They are fetching rings. But why? Bump, 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 bump.
And this man observes with some interest.
I've been framed. There we go.
Imagine that you're able to carry on simultaneous conversations with 2 members of your species, one right next to you, and the other one several miles away.
You can do that with Zoom!
He has few natural enemies. The shark, the barracuda.
Ooh, barracuda!
And me, George C. Scott.
Dr. Terrell talks about the first dolphin born in captivity.
Wonderful little boy named Alpha.
And they've been studying him at the Terrell Marine Center.
Living with him and feeding him, teaching him.
Teaching him what?
We're teaching him racquetball. It's going very poorly.
We're trying to learn about how his sonar system works, about the functions of his language.
And about his opinions of the Star Wars franchise.
Lurking in the crowd is this big swarthy gentleman that we saw in the previous scene.
Paul Sorvino, if Doe were a person.
This is all under the aegis of the Franklin Foundation, whoever they are.
We're gonna have to skip that drink. I've got to get back to the island right away.
I gotta get home. This virus is kicking my ass. Jake talks to Harold, who tells him that his project is over budget.
I was saying I'd like to talk about some of those bills.
You're getting weekly reports, aren't you?
I just want to talk about the bills. Just need to talk about the bills.
Jake goes back to his island compound,
Wake me up before we get there.
Don't leave me hanging around like a yo-yo.
where he has a sexy young staff.
Did I ever tell you the story about the pile of goo that was once your best friend's face? Something I heard in the war.
You all eating?
Yeah, we ate some dolphin earlier today.
No. Oh, no.
Jake puts on his scuba gear and goes into the tank with Alpha, and they swim around together. And
They're fans of each other. They really like each other.
okay, this is getting too erotic. Mr. Mahoney is talking to Harold. He wants to go see Terrell's facility, but Terrell is pretty firm about not wanting people snooping around his research. Paul Sorvino looks like Bob's big boy after a rough weekend. Terrell's research centers on teaching a dolphin to talk.
Alpha, I am deeply disappointed in you this morning. You're really a pain in the ass.
Harold comes and visits.
The Foundation subsidizes fully or partially an extraordinarily eclectic group of scientists, artists, writers.
Something called the Legion of Doom. He complains more about the budget.
Jake, I can't justify that kind of expenditure to the board because I don't know myself what you're doing in there.
I'm getting into some really freaky stuff in there.
We've been laying down some tracks here.
What do you know about
Jazz fusion. What do you know about it?
That's me! The team decides to give Alpha a companion. They call her Beta.
We hope they'll find each other sexually attractive.
And if they do?
Then Alpha will be happier, and if he's happier, he'll learn faster.
I would have done so much better in my first couple of years at college if my advisor thought the same thing. Craig, we got a little lady for you.
Now, Alpha and Beta are names that are far too long for anyone to have to say over and over again, so their short names are Fa and B. Jake and Maggie are Ma and Pa. Alpha, your booty call has arrived. Wow, wow, wow. I've been really trying, Dolphin, for so long. And if you feel like I do, Dolphin, come on. You know the rest.
There's a man I know, an old friend of mine. His name is Curtis Mahoney.
He's kind of my jabroni.
You gotta let this Mahoney guy come and take a look around.
Have fun. Bye.
And what do you want? Fa?
Yeah, we want fish. You know we want fish.
Fa want fish now?
We want fish. Yes, we do. We want fish. Give us fish.
Say fish. Say ma.
Fishmonger.
Mahoney's coming over on the boat. He's gonna snoop around. He can look at whatever he wants. We're gonna take Alpha and Beta and hide them in the secret tank.
What's that building?
Well, we're trying to build a special tank for some experiments.
I can hardly wait to see inside.
You can't go inside. You'll see the big board. He leaves the next day. Fa and B are getting along swimmingly. But there's a problem. Alpha has regressed in his human speech. Now that he's got a dolphin companion, he just talks dolphin all the time. So Terrell decides to separate them.
This is extortion. Classic girlfriend extortion. I'm going to keep your girlfriend away from you until you start talking to me again. I used to do this with my friends in college.
Alpha does not take this well, and he flies into a rage. Wham! Wham! Against the gate. He does this all day and all night. Alpha talks. I want Beta. Give me Beta back. I want my Beta back, Beta back, Beta back. Fa is talking again. He opens up the gate, and the two dolphins are reunited. My plan to make 2 dolphins miserable for a day has worked. Oh my god, what have they done? What have you done, you animals? Is that a meatloaf?
It's like we're all having a dream or some sort of psychotic fantasy.
Or like we're in some kind of movie. Terrell finds out that Mahoney knows all about Alpha and Beta.
It looks like we're going to be forced to come out with the information first to keep this whole thing from turning into some kind of freak show.
These 5 guys from the Foundation come out and ask the Dolphins questions.
This man with the cigar is a mean man.
There is a shark in this tank.
This freaks Beta out. Beta jumps over the fence and flies out into the ocean.
Bob, bring B here now.
Whee!
Maybe we could ask some less emotional questions.
What do you think of the Marvel movies? Are they still cool or are you sick of them? Please, I said no emotional questions. There's this press conference on the mainland that Terrell and Maggie have to go to. Mahoney and this other guy have secretly come to the island. That boat looks like the White Spy in Spy vs. Spy. And they're lurking around, and they're looking at things, and they're eating sandwiches.
I'll get on the radio and ask for some advice.
I'll go call Loveline with Dr. Drew.
Do you have any? Oh, I don't like those.
I only like weirdly placed busts of Benjamin Franklin.
Dr. Terrell, I'm so sorry.
I always have to touch the head when I greet people. This guy went to the hospital, so the press conference has been canceled.
We're all keeping our fingers crossed.
It makes typing extremely difficult. You can just go back to your island now.
That's suspicious.
May I tell the director that you asked after him?
That's right, greetings and goodbyes, gotta touch the head. At the center, the kids have been duped.
But Jake, no,
What? Jake?
I'm not arguing with you.
I beg you.
I said,
I'm
not arguing with you. I just...
Who, Baba? They think that Jake called and said, hey, give Alpha and Beta to these guys who are going to take them away.
They've been stolen.
Turns out David is a bad guy. Mahoney shows up. Don't talk. You're being recorded. Turns out Mahoney's a good guy.
You're going to call the New York Times and tell them that a group of respectable businessmen stole some talking dolphins from you?
That would be more appropriate for the New Yorker.
On the bad guy's yacht.
They've got these bombs. They're attaching them to the dolphins, so they go under boats, and the bombs are magnetic, and they stick to the bottom of the boat. The secrets of how to attach bombs to the bottoms of boats has been eluding the Insane Clown Posse for years. The mean cigar man says another wrong thing to the dolphin, and Fa freaks out and won't get back in the boat. Well, 1 dolphin bomb is as good as 2, so let's just shoot bullets at the talking dolphin until he's dead. But Fa gets away. Fa comes back to Terrell. Mahoney has a brainstorm.
Pretty spry for a big guy.
I hate that Offspring song.
20 miles away, there's this resort. All these rich people go there. Presidents. They're going to use a dolphin bomb to kill the president. Yes.
Find me. Stop me.
Tell her not to put the bomb on the boat.
Fa finally catches up with B. What up, B? And they swim away from the president's boat. They swim back to the boat of the bad men. Bye-bye, Foundation.
Oh, shit.
Touch the head. Don't talk until you touch the head. Ah, she didn't have to because she didn't speak. Terrell is dismantling the Marine Center. He's burning all his records.
Here comes something!
Something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be dolphins.
Fa and B come back.
Yes, Pa knows.
Man, he totally Han Solo'd him.
Jake, we've got to get out of here.
Now that those dolphins have a taste for murder, they're going to come after us next. Terrell knows that if they stay here, the Foundation's going to come and kill them. You got to swim out into the ocean, and you have to never talk again, and you have to never come back here again. But Ma, Pa, Fa love Ma. Ma love Fa. Pa is B. Jake does the only thing that you do in these situations. He tells the dolphins, get out! I don't want you anymore! He totally Harry and the Hendersons-ed them. The dolphins are sad, but, life goes on.
That was quite the day of the dolphin.
Fa and B would go on to assassinate 7 presidents and 1 diplomat. Well, we have just watched the movie about the sad dolphins.
That's right, the sad dolphin assassins.
The movie poster for this sucks. Unwittingly, he trained a dolphin to kill the President of the United States. I kind of would have liked to not know that until the movie decided to tell me. I imagine you've seen quite a few Mike Nichols movies.
Yeah, I'd say I have.
Would you say that he has a style?
Yes, he does, and it's not here. I'm thinking that maybe... Do you remember a few years ago, Bill Murray did the Garfield movie because he thought that Joel Cohen was directing it, but it turned out to be Joel Cohen?
Okay.
There's unions to make certain that you have to have different names, but it's hard for me to believe that this is a Mike Nichols movie when I watch it. He makes actors movies where actors just get to have a ball with the dialogue. This goes with Buck Henry too, and none of that humor is there. Even in the most dramatic movies of Mike Nichols, like say Closer, which came out like 15 years ago, it still has a lot of wit to it, and there was no wit to this movie except for when you hear the bomb being attached to the boat at the end of the movie. But that's it.
I thought it was actually a nice twist that Mahoney turned out to be a good guy. Because he's so oily in the beginning that, you really don't see it coming.
The Fa loves Pa thing at the end of the movie, I could feel the director and George C. Scott being embarrassed that they were involved with that moment.
Well, I really would like to see the sequel to this film, where the Foundation trains an octopus to assassinate the president.
Shooting a ball out at it?
I did like George C. Scott in this role. He brought that kind of masculine gruffness to it, but still able to sell that he loves these animals, but at the same time, he's a scientist. I thought he brought all that stuff to the role. One of the guys in the Foundation, you commented that he looked like Patty Chayefsky. Mm-hmm. I believe that is Severn Darden. He is someone who's always fascinated me. He's sort of this mystery man. He was in The Second City.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With Mike Nichols and Elaine May and the rest of them. He's renowned in the improv world as being one of the first great wave of improvisers. Whenever I see him or whenever I just hear his name, I think, what's up with that guy?
That's a nice name. Severn what?
Severn Darden.
It's hard to say. Hey, also hard to say, beta. I think that a dolphin would not be able to pronounce B's. I'm not an expert in dolphin lips, but I don't think that they're substantial enough to do the B sound.
They can't make any of those sounds. If you're going to enjoy this movie at all, you immediately have to tell yourself that dolphins can talk. You just have to believe that and not think anything else. So this got nominated for Best Score. I'm not hearing it.
The choice of the light flute was supposed to be if dolphins could make music, if you were to write music for dolphins. It might have been nominated for that, for the simplicity of it, but at the same time having a very abstract idea behind it. One of the things that is a big drawback from this movie is that we know dolphins now. We've all seen dolphins do tricks. So that amazement is gone. And so much of the movie is just watching the dolphins swim, which of course dolphins are beautiful animals, but at the same time, I know what they look like.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I mean, you know what fireworks look like, but thousands of people go and see them every year.
But I'm saying that spending so much time in a movie, like if you were to watch a movie and it was 10 minutes of fireworks.
I see your point. It is kind of a bummer having a Buck Henry script that has no humor in it.
It is very weird. Can you hear the baby?
No.
I'll tell him to scream louder.
Okay.
So this is your 1973 movie of the year?
That's right.
Yep.
There's one of them every year. Well, the sun has set on the day of the dolphin, and now it's time for us to paddle on over to Seen It.
It.
M writes, what do you guys think about The Pervert's Guide to Ideology? Seen It.
I started watching it, but I could only get the first half hour of it, so I have to finish it still.
This is a film by Sophie Fiennes, who is the sister of Rafe and Joseph. She's made a couple of these. She made another one called The Pervert's Guide to Cinema. It's this philosopher. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce his name. And he walks us through various aspects of our belief systems as they relate to films, culture, products, and of course, Rammstein. They do a really good job of recreating the sets of classic movies. So when he talks about the movie, he's on the set of the movie. I thought that most of the philosophy kind of went over my head a little bit. It's heady stuff. And also, he has a thick foreign accent and a gnarly speech impediment.
I don't know if I saw the first half hour of Ideology or Cinema, now that you've said it. The thing that I took away from whichever one I saw was when you talk about a horror movie, you should take away the horror from it to see what the story is really about. He says that The Birds is about a young woman and her competition with her boyfriend's mother. Liam Carroll writes, If Beale Street Could Talk. Seen it.
This is based on the James Baldwin novel of the same name. It has some really nice moments, in particular the scene in the beginning, which looks a lot like a play about where they find out that the daughter is pregnant and then the other family finds out and it really is not good.
It's a half celebration, half how could you?
The movie starts off on a really great foot, but I felt like the rest of it was just kind of half-baked. It didn't really hold together quite well. It was like a meatloaf without enough stuff holding it together.
I disagree with you. The weird thing about filming here is that I looked up and there was an old man carrying a tree across the street. I found the movie to be one of the most emotional movies I've ever seen. It isn't a movie so much as it is a protracted moan of sorrow.
Well, the issues that the movie addresses definitely resonate, certainly about the criminal justice system and racial issues and society issues, but just purely as a piece of cinema, it didn't quite work for me. J.P. Ghiva writes, Misery is my favorite Stephen King movie. Seen it.
Seen it.
This is an adaptation of the Stephen King novel of the same name. Kathy Bates won an Oscar for her performance as Annie Wilkes, and for me, all she needed to do was say, he never got out of the cock-a-doodle car! And that deserves the Oscar just by itself.
I am of the camp that thinks that James Caan was miscast in this movie.
Definitely.
I like James Caan a lot, but he doesn't seem like a writer to me.
James Caan just plays it too much like a tough guy, and we don't see that terror. That's one thing about the book, is that this guy, from the minute he wakes up, he's terrified of this woman because he knows that something ain't right.
Zach Griesbach writes, I wasn't expecting Cats to be good, and it certainly delivered.
Seen it.
I don't believe a movie can be so bad it's good. I don't believe in that whole concept. So that only means one thing. Cats is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Because if a movie can't be so bad it's good, it has to be amazing. It is unrelentingly wrong, and I love it for it. It is so exciting to watch a movie that's this bad, that so much work went into. That this isn't just some Joker Tommy Wiseau who fell ass backwards into the idiocy. This is an Oscar-winning director doing this, and I love it.
I would like to present my review of Cats, the film, with a line from the movie. My mind may be wandering. I never have seen a movie with so much spectacle and so much motion that could not keep my attention at all. 10 minutes into this, Tona looked over at me and said, I forgot I was watching a movie.
Because it felt so real?
Throughout the thing, as they're going through all these dopey numbers, my mind just kept drifting off. I had to pull myself back to it.
I do think that this movie is going to last a very, very long time due to the psychotic camp value and the fact that cats do not have fingers, and every single time you see it, it's disturbing. Oh, God, I could go on for like 5 minutes about the fact that they cut the song Growl Tiger's Last Stand and how they should have incorporated it in. But you don't care, Matt, and I think most of the home audience doesn't either. Chimbleshanks, the railroad cat.
If talking dolphins have got you down and you want to listen to some humans talking, you can go to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. All of our episodes are there, nearly 200, and there are PayPal donation buttons that you can click on to donate to help support this show. The support of our audience is so gratifying and touching, and we really appreciate it. I got a couple of comments to read from two very generous donors. We've got a lot of these comments, a bit of a backlog at this point. So if you've made a donation and have left a comment and haven't heard it yet, don't worry, we'll get to it eventually. Reed, who says, we've been watching you since Chad Vader, and we love Welcome to the Basement. You've given us so much joy over these many years, and we wanted to help you out even more than before during these tough times. Soon enough, you'll be back together again on the old leather couch.
I miss that couch so much. I miss you too as well, but man, that couch.
And Caitlin writes, I'll mail you guys something when I'm less afraid of going to the post office. And she wants to know if we've seen Dogtooth, which I don't believe either of us have.
Not yet.
It's not nearly as weird as The Lobster or as violent as the killing of a sacred deer. I would really like to talk to someone about it, but I'm afraid to recommend it to anyone I know.
It's one of those movies where it's like, oh, I really have to check this out. And then you think about what the movie's about, and then you run far away.
To find out who the rest of our donors are and to see the contents of our mail crate, you can watch Unboxing, which comes out this coming Friday. Pa loves Fa, and Fa loves Ma, and now watch this. Yeah, that's right.
Blah, 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 100.